Hello, everyone. My name is Ana Martha Ayala, and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I wanted to do like 4 or 5 lessons for you guys on just like basic principles of basic Western astrology. And I want to remind everybody that I do these videos in English and in Spanish. And secondly, for my colleagues that do offer paid astrology lessons, I am going to keep a very brief overview, but it's meant to help you learn how to read your chart and understand just the basic principles. Okay, it is not the degree theory. This is going to be Western astrology using the Placidus house system, which is the system that I do use for the degree theory, but this is just basic astrology. If there are any topics that you all want to know a little bit more about in astrology, so leave them in the comments below and I will try to introduce them in the future lessons. So like I said, I wanted to start from the basics. So let's go and share the screen. And then I'm going to show you how to set your chart up. I go to astro.com. And over here, let me get this. You click there, you go to the extended chart selection, and then you click on add. You are going to put your name, which this is going to be lesson 1. We're going to say it's a female. Today's date is June 4th of 2024. Let's say that this person was born at 9:15 a.m. in Miami, Florida. And you click continue. And then you click there and hopefully, yes, bingo, there we go. Now, this is going to show you, number one, you have a drop-down menu here that you can do a lot of different charts. We're only going to do the natal chart, the basic natal chart. This is how the wheel is going to look. And we're just going to keep it as the default drawing, okay? Now, the house systems over here, I use Placidus, but you could use whole sign, you can use equal, you can do, any of these, right? But like I said, I use Placidus. And then over here, you have the different things that you can choose when you get more advanced. You can choose what type of aspects you want to look at. You can look at different parts, zodiacal releasing, the Ptolemy terms, the true node, the mean node, those are the lunar nodes. And then different parts of the chart. And these are asteroids, which I do not use. But for today, we are going to keep it very simple and we're just going to do a basic natal chart. Now, this is what you're going to get when you put your information. This will be your name, this will be your birth date, birth time, and the location. And then this is the longitude and latitude of that location. So this person would be a Gemini sun, and the ascendant or rising sign would be Cancer. Now, astrology is based on a lot of math, but thanks to computers, we don't need all that information math-wise, so nobody needs to get scared because I know that a lot of people, math is not their strong point, but just some basic things. The circle is 360 degrees, and the birth chart is has 360 degrees. It has 12 signs, and these are the signs out here. And it has 10 planets. So you have, wow, this is a stellium here in the 11th house. But okay, so you have 10 planets. Now, for those that are not familiar with the symbols, this is Aries, this is Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Now, there are 12 signs and there are 12 houses. And like I said, 10 planets. This is Chiron, and this is the North Node. But this is the Sun, this is Venus, this is Mercury, this is Jupiter, this is Uranus, this is the Moon, Mars, Neptune, Saturn, and Pluto. Now, each of these, technically you can have, each house can be no more than, well, each house can be 30 degrees, but in some charts, if you're born like way up north, like Alaska, Antarctica, Norway, Finland, you have houses that are very small and then houses that are very, very large. So these houses don't have to be exactly 30 degrees each. They have different variations. So we go here to this little box, and you can see that the color codes, right, agree to this circle over here. You have the cardinal signs. Let's talk about first the modalities. Modality is cardinal, fixed, or mutable. These are the three types of signs. Now, they correspond to the colors up here. So you're going to have, and then these are the elements down here. So let's start with the modalities. You have, like I said, cardinal, fixed, and mutable. Cardinal, fixed, and mutable. This cardinal is this little box right here. And this starts people that have a lot of signs in cardinal, or I should say a lot of planets in the cardinal signs. They're very energetic. They're initiators. They in itself, it starts the seasons, right? Because they relate to the cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. Now, these signs, like I said, are energetic, they're initiators, they take on leadership roles. People with a lot of cardinal planets, though, can start a lot of things, but then they don't finish them. So that's one of the, everything has a plus and a minus to them, if you want to see it that way. But cardinals are the go-getters, like the type A personality, right? Now, fixed signs. The fixed signs, these people are very patient. And in this chart, this person has no planets in the fixed signs. But if you do have a person that has a lot of planets in fixed signs, then these people are very patient. They do get things done, but they can also be very stubborn and set in their ways. They're stuck in their ways. They don't want to change. They preserve the status of things. They don't like change. So if we relate it to the if cardinal starts the season, then the fixed signs hold the seasons. The whole season goes through them. And the fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So again, for people having a lot of planets in these signs, they can be very stubborn and set in their ways. And you can prove them 20 different ways, and until they themselves go through the experience, they're not going to budge, unfortunately. Now, mutable signs. Mutable signs basically go with the flow. These people are easy to adapt to different situations. They're very spontaneous. They're okay with changes. And in the perspective of the whole, then these signs conclude the seasons and they help us transition to the next season. So mutable signs would be Gemini, they would be Virgo, it would be Sag, and it would be Pisces. These signs are more flexible, they're easier to handle but it's also hard for them to make decisions sometimes. They have to think it over and over and over again, okay? So in this little box down here, you also find these are the elements. The elements are fire, air, earth, and water, okay? So elements, let me describe each of them. The fire, well, actually, let's start with earth, because people with a lot of earth are very grounded. They're practical, reliable, stable. Like they like to plan things, especially when it comes to money, to budget. And they like to see results in tangible items. The earth signs are more material based, right? They're the ones that want the good careers with a lot of assets, a lot of properties. They're more show me the results type of people. Okay. So the earth is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Now for the air signs, these people who have a lot of air in their charts are all about ideas, about communication, very intellectual, abstract thinkers as well. They might be really good at socializing and they're free-spirited. Um, they're very witty, very communicative. Um, the air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Now, these people can talk. I mean, that's how they connect to other people. They need to socialize. They need to communicate. Now, for the fire signs are people like people that have a lot of fire, a lot of planets in the fire signs. They're very energetic. They have a lot of passion. They're enthusiastic. They're trailblazers. They're independent, and they're usually very extroverted. Like they will be the trendsetters. It's like, follow me. I'll show you the way. Like Aries, right? So the fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sag. And you can see that the red, right? They're all fire. You can see that the earth is green, right? Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Air signs are the same color, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And then finally, you have the water signs, which are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Now, people with a lot of water, a lot of planets in water signs, they have a lot of intuition. They have that little psychic thing going on. They're very emotional, very sensitive, very empathetic, but they're also prone to having more addictions. People with a lot of planets in water signs can also, have a lot of addictions, unfortunately. So, like I said, those are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Um, Now, the houses, and this is just going to be like a brief overview, right? With the houses, and not to confuse, but it's the same terminology is used. You have the cardinal or angular houses, and the angles of the chart are these points. This is the ascendant. This is the IC. This is the descendant, and this is the MC. So this is you. This is your family. This is your partner or long-term relationship. And then this is your career. So if you have the first house, the first house, the fourth house, the seventh house, and the 10th house, these are the most forceful points in the chart. They're the ones of greatest importance because those are the angles of the chart. You have major squares, and a square is a 90-degree angle, right? An opposition is 180 degrees. So this ascendant would square your fourth house. The fourth house would square the seventh house. The seventh house would square the 10th house, and the 10th house would square your rising sign. And you can call this point either the ascendant or the rising sign, and it's the same thing. Now, when the sun is rising, the ascendant is when you take your first breath, when you are being born, when you take your first breath, this is your rising sign. So the sun is starting to rise in your chart. When you get to the 10th house or the MC, this is when the sun is at midday. That is the highest part of your chart. So it talks about status and career. Okay, so the 10th house, right? This little number, the 10th house, is the career and the status. Now, this is when the sun is at the midday. As the sun starts to set, it goes to the 7th house. And then in the 7th house, it starts to set. So if you have, let's say your sun is here, you are below the horizon. So the sun was already setting by the time that you were born. The 4th house down here, the sun is gone and it's a night chart, right? So this is above the horizon, you have a day chart. Below the horizon, you have a night chart. Now, you can see the little numbers here, right? These are the numbers of the houses. This is the first house, second, third, fourth, fifth, etc. Now, each of these houses belong to a certain group, right? And we just discussed the cardinal houses or angular houses because they are at the angles of the chart. But you have the succedent houses, which are the ones that follow the angular houses, which are house number 2, the 5th house, the 8th house, and the 11th house. So these houses enforce what we have learned, and they are fixed. That's why we don't budge in these areas too much. In the 2nd house, the 5th house, the 8th house, and the 11th house, we enforce what we have learned. And then you have cadent houses, which are houses 3, 6, 9, and 12. Now, these houses are mutable. They're adaptable. The energy is of closing cycles, okay? And then we have this little chart down here, which is full of all these little symbols, right? And these are called the aspects that are, see, the blue lines are good or easier energy. The red lines are challenging. Now, the small Blue lines are sextiles, and they provide a little bit of an opportunity. Now, the trines, which are the larger blue lines, the energy flows. There's not really much you have to do. It goes easy. The short red lines are squares, and then this one doesn't have any oppositions. But let's say that there was a red line from here to here. And it's a large red line, then that's also a challenge. Oppositions are where you need to make a decision. Okay. Now, these little symbols down here tell you, right? The sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, the North Node, and Chiron. Now, in this chart, the way you read this is you have let's say the sun is squared to Saturn. So you have the sun squaring Saturn. And you can see that the sun has a red line to Saturn. That's a square, right? So you have a trine. You have Pluto that's in trine with Mercury. So you have Pluto with a large blue line going to Mercury. And so on and so forth. All of these symbols, you have this little asterisk thing here is a sextile. And the sextiles, okay, so we have the moon sextiling Saturn. So let me show you up here. We have the moon in a sextile to Saturn. Ah, and it's exact too. For sextiles, either you have to have like a really tight orb, and an orb is called the difference between, let's say, this number and the next number, right? So the orb, if this is exact 18 and 18, so there's like this is 36 minutes and this is 54 minutes. So it's like 18 minutes apart, right? So here we have 24 degrees to 18 degrees because Uranus is also in the sextile. But the tighter the orb, the more of an opportunity, right? But you need to act on the sextile. It's not going to flow like the trine. So this little symbol here is a conjunction. Let me see, the inconjuncts, they have different symbols, but we'll get to that other um in other lessons, okay? Because I don't want to overwhelm you guys now with all this information, but I think I've tried to make it as simple as possible and just give you, like I said, the basics. I'm gonna stop here because I don't want to make this video too long. I do plan to continue these lessons and giving you more details about what each house means, an overview of the signs, but very basic, very short and sweet. So that way, again, you can have a better understanding of the other videos that I do, and it'll make it easier for you to start in this wonderful world of astrology, and you can start to understand yourself better and also understand other people as well. Now, the one thing is you always use astrology for the better of people. Never take advantage of them because you are going to learn and you're going to have an upper hand if you do get information from other people, but we always use it in a correct way. So I hope that you have understood what I have tried to explain. If that is the case, please give it give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and send the information to somebody who wants to learn astrology. And like I said, any questions or any topics that you want me to address in astrology, please put it in the comments below. And if you would like a personal chart reading using the degree theory, please send me an email to amaastrology@aol.com. I would appreciate if you subscribe to the channel because it helps the channel grow. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.